Hello, hello.
We're at a really fun point in the background.
I am excited to be here. I hope you are too. I am calling out into the void and asking if all can hear me.
Yep.
I can hear you at the very least.
Yeah. Same.
I'm excited not to be alone here in the void. Welcome to the void. It's Dustfire Media. We're back with another lovely episode. Will it be lovely? I don't know. I hope so. Among other things. We're back with another episode of Relics of the New Republic. And I'm going to go to South Africa for the first time this week.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool.
I was telling Nikki before we exited the studio room that I'm going to see wild penguins on a beach for the first time. There's like a penguin beach, and you can just go and walk around and chill with penguins. That's exciting.
So cool.
Yeah. Wish I could go there too. That sounds amazing.
And this raises a question for me. One that's very important to how we deal with wild animals, but doesn't necessarily need to apply to that in your answer. What are your real life principles? Each of our playbooks have principles that are sort of in tension, and our characters are somewhere in between those two principles. And I'm just curious, in real life, as you role play as human beings on planet Earth, surviving late stage capitalism in the year 2024, what are your principles that you're pulled between?
I think mine are communism and survival. So that's where I'm at.
That's a lovely answer. Thank you, Will.
That's hard. I know one of mine is empathy. I just can't think of what the opposing one is.
Oh,
Empathy
that's
and
good.
frigid jerkness.
I am not very good at being a frigid jerk, so no.
Yeah. Who among us have known Nikki to be on that side of the principle, you know?
Oh, we need to make
Perhaps
a t-shirt that says, "Hi, I'm with Frigid Jerk."
That does sound fun.
Fun one.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that Nikki does have that principle, but that her balance has been shifted like +2 or +3 towards empathy this whole time that we've known her.
No, your center
I was
is
gonna
now
say-
at like +3 empathy.
I was gonna say empathy and just something about how sometimes I do find that I want to focus on more people sometimes than I do. Like I sometimes stop when I realize I'm talking about myself too much. So whatever you would call that, like.
Huh.
Humility.
The way you said that made me think that you're like doing a wordplay, Danny, but I can't tell.
I'm not. I just said the word.
Okay.
Very layered joke. Guys, if you've listened to this backwards, you're really going to get it. I promise.
Yeah, if you listen to it backwards, we're doing some crazy things, man.
Crazy things.
Crazy things. I think mine are disparity and threats.
Interesting.
Okay.
Disparity as in like the difference between things?
Oh, it's up to interpretation.
Desperation.
Yeah, desperationarity.
No, desperationarity would be. That's too much.
Oh, okay.
I think we've lost the original plot. of
Yeah,
the
I think
word.
so.
Yeah, see, there is a rabbit hole, and I just plunged all of us down there.
Thank you, Alice.
Yeah.
So tell me about threat as a principle, Danny.
You know, I'm just always on the edge of just threatening people. Is everywhere I go, I see someone, I'm like, I could threaten them right now, but I stop myself because I'm at center. But there's always that chance, Steve.
If you would like more conversations with Danny about his true inner workings, we are still excited to eventually come out with Danny on Danny, where Danny interviews himself.
Yes.
New Patreon goal?
If we just get 5 more patrons, maybe we can do some Danny on Danny.
All I have to do is make a recording of me talking to no one, and then inevitably a week later I'll forget I recorded that. So then I can speak to that recording live, and it'll be a fresh conversation.
And guys, let me tell you,
Ooh.
the hot topics on Danny really spicy this week. You are not going to want to miss these.
Oh yeah.
I do feel like this would be an out-of-body experience, so I personally would listen. Well, I think that for myself, and I mentioned this before we went live to my crew, just to sort of vibe check it, but I feel like my real life principles. Oh, I just lost them. They completely exited my brain. I have no principles anymore. I'm sorry to say. I'm a rudderless ship in the sea, cast about by waves of emotion.
Didn't you say it was anxiety and ambition or something?
Ambition was one of them and harmony was the other. That's right. Thank you, Will.
You're welcome. I take notes.
This is why it's good to not be alone in the void. We will not have a show called Steve on Steve. It's too dark.
It's too dark.
So
But
I'd say
yeah, I tend
anxiety
to
is-
be +1 harmony, and but sometimes I swing towards ambition for short bursts.
Yeah, I would say anxiety is a condition that is plaguing a lot of us.
Yeah, and it's oh so hard to clear, is it not?
Yep. Very hard.
American healthcare.
Is that how you clear it?
Yeah, with medication typically, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
I was just
American
thinking-
healthcare makes that harder.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I think about that heading, I think it just increased the anxiety condition.
Yeah.
My job.
Thank you.
I guess Gus really didn't want to reveal his principles.
It could be that one of his principles is flightiness,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
and that it was a bit too high.
Actually,
Was
one
that
of my
a bird,
principles
Steve?
is disappearing. Sorry about that, everybody.
Invisibility. One of my principles is invisibility.
Gus said
You guys
Steve
hear
might
me
not be
okay?
talking to the void. You know who is? Me.
Oh no, I don't think any of you can anyone hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay, good.
Sorry to shift
Can
your
you
principal
hear
towards
us?
anxiety for a moment.
My principles turned into oh god, no one likes me. I'm disappearing.
Oh no!
Mechkura said that your principles are fight and flight.
We just saw flight
Yeah.
kick in hard.
Accurate.
I love
Playbook
that.
move. Oh God, no one likes me.
What is this? There's that animated edgelordy quote where it's oh, I stared into the abyss and haven't blinked, but you stared and you blinked or something like that. Those are my principles.
The staring in and
Blinking and not
blinking, the
blinking?
staring in and not blinking.
Exactly.
To blink
Where-
or not to blink, those are the principles.
Those are the principles. Blink or
My
not. to blink.
principles are
Staring
eyes
into the
open, eyes closed.
My principles are I'm just a little guy and I'm EP. I can't continue.
Where are you on your balance track in real life now, Gus?
In real life now,
Yeah.
between burning everything down and creating my own brand new version of capitalism, I think.
Are you
If you would
plus one
like to
burning everything
join
down?
us in the New World Order, 10 more patrons.
If we
Come
get
on, guys.
8 more patrons, we will open up a sub Patreon that's called Gus's World Order, where it's just me ordering. It's all the things that I order throughout the week, whether it's stuff or food.
Just a live feed of your Amazon purchases.
Amazon purchases, food orders, whatever it is. You'll see my unhealthy addiction to coffee. Be like, wow, he really orders 3 shots of espresso every single day with a splash of almond milk, no sweetener. Wow. What's wrong with that man?
To be fair, not much.
Burn it all
To
down.
be fair, not much. That's pretty solid.
Okay, I get it.
I can say that. Agreed. Hard. Unblinkingly. +1, not blinking.
No. But no, the good news is I disappeared. I figured out why I couldn't hear any of you on our end. And I had to listen to you on Twitch. So everything I was reacting to was delayed by 3 seconds.
Oh no.
Now I can hear all of you, which is why I'm back.
Well, if we have thoroughly confused you about our Patreon goals, you're in great company with us. We will figure out and remember what our next Patreon goal is as soon as Justin tells us in our private chat. But let us forge ahead and have some fun. That's right. Thank you, Justin. The bi-weekly talk show hosted by Danny. So it's not Danny on Danny, but it's Danny on some of us.
I want to make sure there's no further confusion. It's not called a bi-weekly talk show because I'm bisexual. It's called bi-weekly because it happens every other week. All right?
Thank you, Danny. All of us were thinking that, so I'm really glad you cleared that up.
Yes. Just making sure. I know that everyone had that in their minds. I am bisexual, but it happens every other week. So it's a bi-weekly talk show.
Maybe on the weeks where it's like another cast member, it's called bi-weekly talk show. And then every other week it's called its regular name.
I
really want to add another bi, so I can say bye talk show.
No, we have this show already has 2 bisexuals. It's too much.
It's too much.
We have a representation problem. Apparently.
The two bisexuals make one whole sexual?
Let us leave that question for the philosophers.
2 bisexuals equals 2 quad. A singular quad. Nope, that doesn't work either.
Last time on Relics of the New Republic, we saw Akifumi Yako, and we watched her come under the influence of a mysterious substance placed on a little rolled up scroll from none other than Woshi Ikeru, the disgraced billionaire who lost his anonymity and to some extent his standing in the bookkeepers, the librarian's circle of underground relic lovers, among other things. He's had to pay the 3 prices. I don't know that we've specified what those are on air, but Woshi definitely seemed to be furious with you all. But rather than following the librarian's instructions to eliminate loose ends completely, he told Fumi and the rest of you, except for Jing Min, who's not with us at the moment, that you can repay your debt to him through various tasks. Though he said that nothing would be too crazy to begin with, we were quickly shown that that is not the case, as he whispered to Fumi an order to... I'm thinking of executing Order 66. He whispered an order to have you kill none other than Zephyr Skydancer, your most beloved hero in the airbending world. Isn't that right, Nikki?
What the heck?
Sorry, right. No, you're not one of the raving fans. But man, those books are good. So good. Taking Flight is my personal favorite. And what else happened? Jing Min, I think you've been doing some training. Kamadi may or may not have asked you to do an important task as well. Any recollection of that?
Yeah, I think Jing Min was trying to train. She was trying to, as much as she can, get in a mindset where she can accept some form of training from Kumadi.
Yes, and just when things were getting easy, you were asked to find your grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
who you have told Kumadi is working with the Red Lotus. And so you need to extract information as to what he is up to in this traveling circus that has come to Republic City.
Yup,
And
circus
you
art.
will extract that information by any means necessary, to use Jing Min's own words.
Yeah, I think I had said, I'll do whatever it takes if it means riddling the world with bodies covered in my arrows like a field of long grass. I think I said something like that.
Well, you certainly should have.
I think I said something along those lines. Well, Jing Min did. I would never say that.
It's close enough to the truth. The other important piece of info is that Woshi gave you another scroll, one which did not have drugs on it, and which had the details of yet another dangerous task. You've woken up the next morning and you know that tonight you have to carry this order out or there will be dire consequences. Indeed, you have already neglected to kill Zephyr Skydancer on the night that you were supposed to, last night. And the instructions on this little scroll, give you a location, an access point to a secret tunnel or series of tunnels that run under Republic City. And your mission from Woshikeru is to make sure that a deal between his people and some other people does not go sideways. I believe those are the highlights.
Yeah.
Well, let us jump in. I think the camera opens on a modest restaurant in Republic City, a newly opened Dumpy's. The sign outside is slightly lopsided. This place does not look like it received top-notch venture capital funding to get started again. But you were looking for food, and after all that you've thought about this place, you couldn't resist going in, Amuk, and seeing what's up.
Just going in with disdain of like, this wasn't mine. Who did this? Ready to judge their soup dumplings.
Amuk, Fumi, and Lin and Cloth, you walk in to this place. It's not very clean. It's not necessarily hideously dirty. After brushing off a few crumbs, you can sit down in one of the booths. Why are there crumbs when there's nothing crummy here to eat? Perhaps they're crumbs from the previous restaurant that once held this place. Who knows? But you do smell steamed dumplings. And you see a bunch of steam wafting from the kitchen. And someone comes out in a modest emerald robe and says, "Welcome to Dumpy's. What can I get you?" "Oh, I almost forgot." And then this fellow goes and puts a grand opening sign, which is just the words grand opening written on a piece of paper, and tapes it in the window.
That's sweet.
No.
No, as in you won't be ordering?
No, sorry.
You
No,
can sit
as
there
in
as well.
what kind of sign is this?
A sign from the spirit realm. And he wiggles his
Oh.
fingers in the air as if to conjure a sort of spell over you.
No, I'm a fan of that. Yeah.
So no soup dumplings? Just here for a chat? Or
I'll take it. Amuk is just so like angry. just upset. Like, how did someone do this? He's like, okay, give me 6 soup dumplings, 3 green scallion pancakes, 4 barbecue pork dumplings, and 2 turnip and radish cakes to start.
For all of us or just you?
No, that's for all of us.
Okay.
But I might not eat any of it because if it's not good,
Okay. I couldn't.
I need a full spread
You-
to judge this place. Because if they stole my recipes, then we're in real trouble.
I promise I didn't steal anything, but I will try to remember everything you said. And then he goes back into the kitchen.
That is Gus's mine real order when I get dim sum.
Oh, that's
Okay, Easter
amazing.
egg.
You have a moment alone. Do you say anything?
Yeah. We need to figure out what to do about the whole Woshiakiru thing.
Yeah, those drugs.
And your parents.
Oh, the drugs.
Well, yeah, we have to stop the drug deal, but
Just discussing
Like
all
your
this
parents.
in like the equivalent of an Applebee's in Republic City.
Just getting dollaritas the whole time. It's great.
I'm gonna Fumi, I don't think we should stop it.
why not? We can't let more people be hurt by that.
So we either let those people get kind of happy and suggestible, or we let us get murdered. Which
That's why we need to talk about your parents so we can save them.
that's not an option. We have to make sure we sell the drugs.
Why is it not an
Wrap.
option?
Oh god, he's fast.
I think this is everything. Amuk, everything is laid out as specified. And it looks surprisingly good for how everything else looks. It seems that the food is the one thing that this gentleman is getting right. He stands after he puts it in front of you, and his eye just twitches for a bit as like an anticipative, deranged expression of glee takes hold on his face.
All
Well, go on,
I
then.
take a bite out of the soup dumplings. Steve, how is it?
It's
Should I
quite
roll
good.
tastiness?
It is quite good. It is not all that it could be, in your opinion, Amuk. Is it everything that you hoped?
It could be better, but it's not my soup dumpling recipe, so that's good.
Could.
Why did you call
Be
this place
better?
dumpy?
Why? To resurrect dumpies, of course. Everyone told me I was crazy. But I knew that dumpies would come again because I wanted to bring it back single-handedly. Of course, I couldn't scrape up the capital, so... Well, as you can see, the sign was not great, and neither is the sign I just put in the door, but... This is as close as I can get to what I remember dumpies being when I was a little younger and ate some myself.
We'll get there.
That's why
We'll
your
get there.
food tastes like a hollow memory.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
The Mook just goes back to eating a couple things, taking a bite of 2 of everything else.
Well, I suppose I could rename the place Hollow Memories if all else fails.
That's a start. Could you bring us some jasmine tea? We're trying to have a conversation, please.
Oh, of course. Leave us a nice review. By
We
us,
will.
I mean me. He heads
We
back to grab some tea for you, quickly sets it out in front of you, and then It vanishes to the kitchen again.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
No,
I can tell.
I'm trying to not let it out on anyone else right now, but we really need to figure out our next move and get Jing Min back.
Yeah. If you do need to talk, though, you can.
He just aggressively eats a green scallion pancake.
Okay, yep. Okay. So, do you have
Well-
thoughts on drugs? Or
Love them. Do all the drugs. Do drugs and crime. That's what I always say.
I don't know if that's. Sorry, I meant to put the deal tonight.
Yeah, the Boshi drugs. We're just gonna call them the cabbage drugs.
The cabbage. I think the cabbage powder. I think that's what we should call it.
Yeah,
That's a
cabbage
good idea.
powder.
The cabbage powder. Okay.
Cabbage Kush. All right, I'm muting myself again. That's all the input I had.
Where did that voice come from? Jing Min?
Jing Min? Are you here? The CC.
You
For one
also
extreme.
remember. You also remember, Fumi, that Zephyr Skydancer had scheduled an interview with you all later this morning, and so you definitely are expected. You're on his schedule for the day, and you now have more cred than you anticipated by the time this appointment rolled around. So you will have yet another opportunity to see him, at the very least, if you decide to show.
I still think we need to figure out how to stop the cabbage powder, but we have that interview later too, with Zephyr.
We're not stopping it.
Why not?
Because things are going to get a lot worse for all of us if we do.
But things will get a lot worse for the people here if we don't.
Okay.
We could do something in between both of those things. It just would be a little risky.
What is it?
You don't want those people to get hurt because of the cabbage kush. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah. It's like a euphemism for a butt.
But you, Lynn, don't want us to intervene because otherwise we're going to get hurt. I think the answer we need is we might have to just steal the cabbage powder. We can still workshop the name. Then no one gets their hands on it. No one gets hurt. And we're not to blame as long as they don't know it wasn't us.
That's a good idea.
We can blame it on Shadow Paw if we do it right.
Oh,
I like that. We just need to be able to do the paw print.
Yeah.
And Link can paint.
And we just have to make sure they can't tell it's us.
And we cut.
above table, we're killing Steve. We're killing Steve right now.
Oh, this is so delightful. You know, when your players pull something like that out of nowhere and you're like, this is brilliant. Disrupt the universe. Yes. Yes. We cut to Jing Min. Jing Min, the camera just zooms in on you as you've been left to contemplate who it is that you will choose to accompany you on the mission that Kamadi's entrusted you with. You can choose anyone except for Kamadi herself.
Huh.
Benders
So
of all stripes are at your disposal, non-benders as well, with different capabilities. And Kumari has given you time to think about this because your mission is to be carried out this evening.
So we see Jing Min in her room, stringing her bow for the 3 millionth time, making sure all her broadheads are nice and sharp, and that they can pierce the flesh of any foe that comes in her way. And she's thinking. At one point we see her, maybe doing push-ups, pull-ups. She's practicing her arm strength. That's how she's able to pull back on her bow so easily. She's a little girl, but if she flexes, she has unnaturally bulky arms. And she looks at that, she sees that, she's like, muscles, big, Donna and Perla. And so then she starts running to find where Donna and Perla are.
Donna and Perla are playing Pie Show in another room in the underground facility. They've got candles lit, clearly scented, a kettle of tea on. You are stepping into a very relaxing space.
She barges in the door. What are you guys up to?
Hey, raccoon, says Perla. Yeah, hey, says Donna.
So, Jing Min starts with her arms crossed, walking around them as she speaks. So, Kamani gave me the choice to basically bring anyone along this, this little venture. I'm supposed to go on, find and murder my grandfather. I think she said murder him. I really forgot what she said. I'm pretty sure I have to murder him, but we'll get to that later. And I'm thinking, you're a couple of big gals, huh?
I was losing anyway, says Donna, and she just flips the Pie Show board. Hey. Fine.
So, what do you guys think about coming with me?
If Kumari says you can choose, you can choose. What do you want us to do?
I like that. Thinking ahead. That's good on you. Let's walk and talk.
Sounds good. Where do you walk, Jing Min?
All right, just as a refresher, Steve.
Yeah.
Besides Kumari saying, I want you to find your grandfather, did she give any kind of information on where he is, what he's doing?
You know that he's at the circus. So where the traveling circus is currently set up in the city, he is there. That's what the intelligence says. You know that they confirmed this family name and had that name among others for people who are potentially involved with Red Lotus. You essentially indirectly confirmed that, and then he was spotted periodically interfacing with folks at the circus. And so you're sent to figure out what is going on, what he knows.
Okay, so yeah, so more or less question him, yeah?
Yeah, more or less.
All right.
Could be much more, depending on what Jing Min does.
Yeah. So I think Jing Min, when she said walk and talk, I think she'll start walking towards the circus.
Hey, that's great. Yeah.
And she'll say, so, all right, here's the plan. We're looking for my grandfather, right? You paying attention, Perla? You paying attention?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Perla puts away some candies and gum.
So, just to give you a descriptor, he's an old man with legs and hands, all right? just be on the lookout for that.
Got it.
Yeah. I think
Beard. Top knot.
he's got a beard.
Threads.
He does have one of those firebendy top knots. I think until I give you guys the signal, you watch over me like invisible wolf bats, yeah. Just waiting on that signal to pounce, yeah.
Donna and Perla look at each other for a moment of hesitation and then nod. Okay.
All right, so once we get to the circus, follow me.
We're already
Close,
following
but
you.
not too close.
Okay.
So like a little bit farther than she'll like run ahead a little bit farther than this. Make sure there's like people between us. I don't know. I've never been to a circus, so I don't really know how these things are supposed to look like. Is it like a show?
Games, tents, noise,
Games, tents,
animals.
Noise is good because then you can't hear screams.
Okay, kiddo. Okay. And they follow you further into the city towards the circus. Jing Min, is there anything else? And it's okay if you think of this later, depending on the timeline, how it unfolds. Is there anything else that you decide to do on your way over to the circus? Any preparations?
She's I think on the way she'll make. She also probably did this beforehand too, but she'll make sure she has more bolas arrows made.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. She is, Steve, just to make it clear, she is winging it.
Oh, totally. I was reading the vibe.
Okay, good. Cool.
I get the sense Donna and Perla are reading the vibe too.
She's fully winging it.
They've had less to go on in previous missions, you know. It's part of life.
Yeah, I figured, you know. And
Protect
they
the
seem
raccoon. And we
Raccoon
cut
protection
back.
program.
Yeah, that's right. The Jing Min protection program.
Yes.
Great people for this. You couldn't ask for better. Amuk, Lin, and Fumi. What are you doing now? You finished your meal. Hopefully you've paid.
Yeah. And we've
Yeah.
tipped. And we've tipped.
Moog left a 40% tip with a very strongly worded note that just said, do better.
That's an emotional roller coaster. You gave them so much money.
Lynn's
He's
just happy
hurt,
we're appreciating
but
service
he's-
workers.
Still doing the right thing.
Have a good day now. He scoops up all the dishes.
As before we leave out, he just looks over at the guy running the restaurant. I guess he's the only one in here, right? Like he's
Yeah, it's just him.
cooking everything. Like, hey,
Yes?
you need to slice the ginger thinner and boil the stock a little longer. Add a little bit more pork fat so when it congeals, it's more soupy and you get the better taste and it's not as hollow. And then he leaves.
Not as hollow. That's brilliant. A very generous turn of events, Amuk.
Luke is angry at the world and he feels taking it out on this man.
That's understandable. Well, do you go to the interview with Zephyr Skydancer, or do you have any other affairs?
Think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, I think rather than going back to the pro bending arena, Zephyr would try to take most of his appointments at his estate.
Oh. Could be a real eat the rich moment here, huh?
Yeah. We also need to figure out what information we need to get out of him, and if we should let him know that Wochi Akiri was trying to kill him.
Do we tell him that?
I feel like he probably needs to know.
Do we make your new boss, who's giving you the cool opportunity to pro bend, mad at you? Or I don't know, do we make our lives harder with a man who can kill us, knows we live, and wants us dead, and wants my mom and dad dead? Or do we just kind of like vibe it out?
As you ask that series of very intelligent questions, Lynn, two cars pull up alongside where you as you walk through the city towards Zephyr's estate. And Fumi, you see a window roll down on the front car, and a very just tough-looking lady looks at you with severe expression and gestures for you to come towards the window.
What? Who are you?
Woshi. She puts out a cigarette on her own skin for no reason. Boss knows you didn't do the deed last night. Get it taken care of, or there will be hell to pay.
I'm not gonna kill anyone. You're crazy.
Well. And she pulls out a little scroll and looks at it and says, I think someone named Akihisa may change your mind. And then the car
Maybe just,
pulls
like,
away.
Try sending a blast of wind at the car.
Ooh. Fumi, what are you intending to accomplish?
She doesn't even know. That just made her mad.
Okay. Yeah. Huh. It's interesting when you don't have a clear aim to figure out what to do. So
She was just mustering as much energy, just like, oh, how dare you mention her?
yeah. I think that as the car begins to pull away, you just send out this impulsive blast of air, and it just shatters the windows on the left side of the car.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
And you just see, because the windows were, hard to see through before. You just see this crew in the car just totally bewildered. And the lady looks at you again, stops the car for a second and just says, "You're a frigid jerk," and then pulls away.
Fine. I'm a frigid jerk if you want me to be, but leave my sister alone.
Yeah. So you have your threats, you have your instructions, Fumi. Your sister, I believe your twin sister, is that right?
Yep.
Has been named by one of the henchwomen of Woshi Ikeru.
Hi.
You proceed to the estate. You come up on gates that are decorated with wings. And there is an intercom.
Oh. I love
The
electricity.
little button. Who presses it? Or does anyone do anything else?
Fumi's just standing in the back, still, not. Now she's not even sure about this meeting. And still miffed.
Fair.
Fumi, do you want to press the button? I feel like it makes the most sense. Like,
Except
you don't.
now
Sorry, you don't have to. I can do it. I just think because he's your
Luke
boss.
just punches the button.
Do you punch the button, Amuk?
Punch the button.
Oh, okay.
Amuk, you have very clearly damaged the system, but you do hear a voice come through. It's a little crackly at first. Who is it? Hello?
Hi, it's Akifumi and friends.
Let's see. Akifumi. Yeah. Interview thing? Journalist or something?
Yeah.
All right. Come on in. It sounds like you're breaking up on that side a little bit.
Oh,
We'll have a look at the intercom. It's all right.
yeah. Some rock hit it. Really weird.
Strange. Must be those kids again. Ugh. Oh, come on in. And the gate opens.
Lynn's gonna move a really big rock to like the base of the intercom system.
I won't make you roll for that little act of deception. I love it. As the gate opens, I mean, you just see unquestionably that this is a lavish living space. Everything is immaculate. Pristine materials were used to construct this place. You walk through gardens with exotic birds, and you finally arrive at this almost villa-style exterior where Zephyr Skydancer has his hands folded and he's just sitting meditatively on a mat. His assistant is next to him and says, "They're here, sir," and then steps away. There is radio kind of recording equipment, and there's the assistant has gestured for you to step in. It also seems at the ready to take notes.
Why are they here?
Zephyr continues to feign meditation, but peeks at you and then closes his eye. Fumi.
You don't even... That's not real meditation. What are you doing?
I am using a new technique, but I can understand that you would not be aware of it yet, young one. You don't earn these tattoos easily.
You haven't even earned them.
What? Is this... Fumi, is this a taste of how my interview is going to go? I thought we were on the same team.
Ugh, sorry. I'm fine.
I gave you a signed copy of my new book.
I'm so sorry. We've had a really long day. We watched some kids throw some rock at your intercom system. I think they were aiming for us. So we're just a little shaken up,
They hit the intercom system. Oh, that's infuriating.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned
Yeah.
about that intercom system.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, well. Money can fix most things, right?
Yep.
Fumi rolls
Well,
her
kids,
eyes.
have a seat. I'm sure you must be eager to ask questions. You can use some of the usuals, but pepper in at least something creative here and there to keep it fresh for me, will you? And
Let's
Amuk,
sit down.
Oh.
Gus, I just want to highlight this just in case for freshness sake, because I know I mentioned it to the players because it's been a while. The initial reason why y'all seemed to seek out Zephyr Skydancer at the Pro Bending Arena was because his name is on the list of names that you collected from the relic showing in the librarian circle that night. And so you know that Zephyr was there. So he is one of, I believe, 5 of your possible leads on learning more about the librarian and possibly other things that this group is connected to. But what you do with that is up to you. You could just have a lovely, normal interview and stay in Zephyr's good graces. It's totally your call.
Mook's gonna look around and peruse, try to find something.
Oh, okay. So you're stepping away from the group and letting
away from
them
the group,
kind of do the interview separately.
letting them interview, and then if I get caught, I'm like, oh, I'm just looking for the bathroom or the kitchen, whatever seems more believable in the moment.
Oh, you're just going for a walk, eh? Well, enjoy the estate. The gardens are lovely. It's your manager, right?
Yeah.
I'm sort of your manager now, but I'm okay with sharing in some capacity. I'm sure you have other things to do.
Yeah, like how you do other things.
That's a
tell us
great
about-
segue. You're a good interviewer.
Yeah, thanks, I guess. Tell us about your latest book.
Well, it's lovely that you asked that, Fumi. Zephyr starts to tell you a bunch of things about his book that make it sound like every other book he's written. He touches briefly on the themes of his own greatness, the importance of attaining enlightenment, and the great sacrifices that it takes to get there.
Yeah.
His gratitude to the people of Republic City and the foreign nations is also a theme.
That's inspiring. I mean, speaking about like the history of the 4 nations, have you seen about those relics that have gone missing lately? It's been in the news everywhere.
Terrible, terrible business. And I did make a point to let those folks know I'd face them one-on-one after they took Appa's saddle. Dastardly
And that
deed.
is so brave. And I mean, I
I
can
know.
Yeah.
Sokka's
I know.
boomerang and that guy in the mask with the lightning. It's all so crazy, isn't it?
It is a time for courage. I'm sorry. The mask, I don't follow. Lightning?
You
Oh,
you like masks, right? You said that earlier.
Did I now? I suppose I did say a lot. It's possible that What are you trying to accomplish here, Fumi?
Trying to make him slip up.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
Nick
Lynn,
and I are on the
anything?
exact same page right now. We are trying to gaslight, gatekeep information out of this man.
Sounds like it might be a trick.
I think it is. Lynn, I think you were the first one to take us down this trick road by sneaking in this information.
Okay.
Let's have you roll trick.
Okay. That's gonna be a 9.
Okay.
And technically I am helping already.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to use the help feature if you want to get it to a 10 plus, which is totally possible. Let's see.
Yeah.
I just haven't looked at trick in a while. When you trick an NPC, roll with creativity, which I believe is your strong suit, Lynn.
Mhm.
On a hit, they fall for it and do what you want for the moment. Now, if it's a 10 plus, you pick 2 of these following options. Otherwise, just pick 1. They stumble, take +1 forward to acting against them. They act foolishly. The GM tells you what additional opportunity they give you. They overcommit. They are deceived for some time. Fumi, do you want to mark a fatigue to use that help and bump it up to 10?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Very good. And you've already told us how you help, so I'm satisfied with that. Mark that fatigue. And Lynn, what would you like to choose for your 2 options?
I think we're going to take, they stumble. We're going to take 1 forward to acting against them. So for the rest of this conversation, every time we pull a move like this, we'll get +1. And I want him to act foolishly.
Okay. I have to give you an additional opportunity. Well, I suppose that I like masks, among other things. I do collect quite a lot. I collect masks. Don't know if I said that earlier to pique your interest on this. But I collect relics, so that's partly why I have such a keen interest in these relics, and occasionally attend, let's say, quite secretive gatherings about acquiring relics. So
That's
No,
really
when
interesting.
It comes to,
not a
Yeah,
clue about
when-
the
when-
lightning, I gotta say, but
when it comes to getting all your books out there, I'm sure you know a lot of librarians. Is there anyone you can tell us about in particular?
wow. Oh, that's gonna use your +1 forward for sure. I'd love to see a separate trick for this from you, Fumi.
Oh
You
gosh,
get to take
okay.
that +1.
Ooh, I got a 9, but I have a -1 plus that +1, so it just comes back to 9.
I will
It's-
also help with that
Okay.
happily.
Yeah. So mark that fatigue. And how do you help, Lynn? What do you do?
It's going to follow up and say, yeah, and it's just such a big city. And there's so many librarians with such specific knowledge on the history of the 4 nations. And it really just, your book is so timely in that sense.
Let's say that gets it up to a 10. What are your 2 choices, Fumi?
I mean, I guess they're still acting foolishly, so I'll take the overcommit and the stumble again.
Okay. Yeah. I do know some librarians. I mean, I know a lot of people, right? So no matter what type of person you name, I probably know a lot of them personally. Do some favors here and there, some charity work. Got to do that. One notable librarian is particularly an expert on these relics. And so as soon as Appa's saddle went missing, I tried to reach out to them and get a sense of what they thought might have happened. And, a lot of people don't know the things I know. And this is what makes me better positioned to do something good for the city and for the people of Republic City.
Yeah.
I reached out to my contacts, and I've got some leads on how to find some of these missing relics. And so I promise to you that they will be returned soon enough. All you got to do is contact the right people in the right way. And frankly, I know a thing or two about how to contact Shadowpaw.
Shadowpaw?
The one and only.
Wait, that's incredible. Not to get too personal for a second here, but hearing about her deeds is frankly inspiring, as bad as that might sound, right? But the ability to sneak through shadows and go unnoticed is brilliant. How do you know her?
It is brilliant. But nothing I can't keep up with. I've had a run in once or twice with that wonderful thief. And I agree. I'm impressed by the craft, even though I must say publicly that I disagree on the record with stealing. And with just stealing for whoever hires you. That's probably not good.
Yeah.
I much prefer indirect forms of stealing.
Wait, We should touch on that later. That feels more like a class consciousness.
Zephyr,
thing.
for the first time, blushes just a little bit and seems to question what's just come out of his mouth. Maybe scratch that. He gestures to the assistant.
Oh, yeah, we won't talk about that
So,
one.
yes, sir, of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, as an airbender on your team now and a book enthusiast, I would love to have a chance to also meet this librarian.
Let me make sure that I'm being truthful to the trick benefits and the resolution of them. I still think this is a push your luck. It's a difficult ask. But I will give you the plus one from the previous trick benefit.
E-T-L.
Oh
E-T-L.
gosh.
Oh,
Oh no. So that I rolled a natural 2. I have a +2 to passion, so that's 4 there. +1 there is 5.
Okay. Okay.
I
5.
help 4 times.
No, I mean, you could help once, but that would put it to a 6, but you would need another person to help it into a weak hit or a 7. And let's cut to a mook before we resolve this. Mook, what are you looking for around Skydancer's estate?
Definitely want to go through his study and just check for secret compartments under his desk. There's
Oh,
a locked drawer that with a false bottom, maybe.
I like where your head is at. You're walking through the grounds, the exterior around this villa area. You see a few entrances, but Zephyr is no dummy, at least in the sense of deciding to hire security or not. And so these entrances each have someone standing, well dressed. It's hard to tell looking at them whether they're a butler, a merc, or both. They're very well built, but they're also very well groomed. I'm curious what you think would help you to get closer to the areas you want to search.
I'm going to start a grease fire in the kitchen.
Okay, I did not expect that, my friend. So you do have to get into the building first. So yeah, let's see your conversation or whatever else
Are we
you
not
do.
in the building?
So the villa has a bunch of, essentially outdoor areas that just have like an overhang and pillars. So it's like you're walking on the exterior of this building along the edge of the garden where it meets this walkway that wraps around the estate. And so, yeah, you do have to get into one of these entrances. They're standing at the door politely. What do you do?
Just walk up and just say, hey, Zephyr was requesting I bring him a picture of his cucumber dragonberry water. Do you know what he's talking about? Where I could find that?
He asked you that. Oh dear. And then I want to. Yeah, I just want to give you this because I think it's hilariously fun. This attendant, they just turn around and run right into the building, leaving you an opening to enter.
Just stroll in, try to be as careful as possible to look around and just try to find a study.
Yeah, the way is clear. Yeah, let's save on assess the situation because you're just finding a room. You hear the attendant. They are, scuffling about the kitchen, filling this pitcher of water, and you navigate a series of hallways with just lovely paintings, all of Zephyr Skydancer.
Oh. Guys,
Should have
if I
expected
could be mean
that.
for a second,
What are some of the... Go ahead.
I think that the morally correct thing to do here is to kill him. regardless of plot, I think that is the morally correct thing to do.
Oh my
Well, it depends on this
god.
next part. I was gonna ask, what does the poses of the portraits of Zephyr look like, Steve?
Sure. One of them is Zephyr in a Captain Morgan pose, with his foot, his lifted leg. The foot is on top of what seems to be a defeated dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Another one is him just riding a flying bison and giving the peace sign.
Yep.
And yet another one is just him with President Moon smiling magnanimously.
How does Moon look?
A little peeved.
Yeah. I like that was captured in the painting. That's
Yeah.
shout out to the artist for that one.
Hey, accuracy. You pass by these paintings, Amuk, and you see just a lovely glass ornate door to the study. It is unlocked. The study itself does not look like it has been used very much. It's not like there's papers out, books out. It's mostly just another showpiece or decoration that adds to the estate, it seems. But it does have a large desk and a couple copies of Zephyr's books on it.
Before going up to the desk, I want to put like some pretty chunky ice crystals on the floor, so if anybody walks in, I can hear it crunch.
Okay. Very sly.
And then I want to go investigate his desk and see if I can find anything in there.
Roll assess the situation for me. And while we wait on the result, let us break for an ad.
Oh my god, what fake ad are we doing this time, guys?
Do you
Wait,
want to do one?
We got a
Yeah, we have to
rainforest
do a
fruit
fake ad. I got
suggestion.
my result already, but I want to do a fake ad first.
Okay. What did you ask, Will?
We got a rainforest root suggestion. I'm looking for Alyssa's message in the Discord.
Oh,
God,
that's
yeah,
so
love it.
true.
For a
I
certain
scroll
situation,
Discord on the fly. Like, can I use Command F to go through all the Discord messages in the server?
Alyssa
Yeah, you can
says,
search.
chugga chugga choo choo, choose rainforest roots.
Oh my
good
god.
one. I like that one.
That's
I like
it.
that one a lot.
Fantastic.
Yep.
That is. It's a good throwback. How many chuggas before the choo choo? The world may never know. I know. Well, maybe an ad for Dumpy's next time. And we're
More
back.
memories next time.
Gus, what do we have?
For assess the situation, I roll with. I always forget this one.
Creativity.
Creativity. Okay, cool. I get no bonus on this, but it is a 6 and a 5. 11.
Very nice. Well, on a 10 plus, you can ask 2 questions. What here can I use to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out, in, or through? Who or what is in the greatest danger?
What is what should I be on the lookout for? Thank you for that, Steve.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you this answer and then you can decide what your next question is. It's interesting to try to think about answering this question through epiphany versus through like the search itself. So I think what I'll do is the search itself. One breadcrumb perhaps leading to others. So you are rummaging through this desk and just find letters, fan mail for Zephyr. It's a lot of gooey, over the top, worshipful, gross nonsense. But under it all, you find an innocuous looking scroll. It's already been opened, and then it seems hastily was crumpled up and then thrown kind of into the back recesses of the desk, perhaps in anger. And when you open it, you see a list of ingredients, almost like for a recipe or something. And so what should you be on the lookout for? I think further explanations of this and why it's important. What is your second question?
Can I pocket that recipe into like my boot?
You sure can.
Second question is, who or what is the biggest threat in the villa right now?
Huh. I'm going to give you an honest answer to this question, Gus. You feel like you have a pretty accurate estimation of Zephyr's abilities. And you think that you are the most dangerous person in the estate.
Okay.
It could be Fumi, it could be Lynn, but based on your experience and battle weatheredness, you think it's probably you.
Emotional unstableness is definitely a move.
A moment of insight, yeah.
Yeah.
Into what you're capable of.
I think Amuk, after finding the recipe, is going to like ice bend a puck, probably about a foot across, like a 1 foot, like a square, not a puck. So a foot by a foot square of ice, and just leave it on Zephyr's chair. So eventually it'll melt, and when he sits down, he sits down on a wet chair.
Ever the prankster. We cut to an attendant hastily bringing flavored water to Zephyr Skydancer and interrupting the interview, because if he asked for it, it has to be more important than the interview. The water you asked for, sir? I didn't ask for anything. Get out of here. And Lynn and Fumi, you see the attendant just turn around, and this seems to not faze them at all. It's as if Zephyr is always this way.
Thought it was over for us. Okay, great.
Now, remind me, and forgive me, as we've cut back to you, what was the last thing that happened in your interview?
I had asked to meet the librarian and then rolled a 5 on pushing my luck.
That's right. That's right. I knew we had something to resolve here. Oh my. Well, let us resolve that. A 5 on basic moves, push your luck. It's a risky situation. So I just essentially have to give you a consequence. I think this is where, despite continuing to be deceived, Zephyr's wits get a little sharper. He just contorts his face for a moment as he contemplates your question and says, I really can't just go around introducing folks to each other. You understand, I have to be a sort of curator of my network and respect their boundaries. So I can't, unfortunately, just bring every famous person I know to introduce to every other famous person and so on. It's quite presumptuous of me to cash in all those favors in that way.
Of course.
So I hope you'll forgive me. Was there any final question? I'm starting to feel thirsty for that flavored water I just rejected.
Oh.
I'm kind of wondering. Let's say that like you had the whole mask thing, and you said you love masks, right?
Yes.
What happens if at one of these like fancy mask balls you take your mask off? She just wants to know what would happen to Moshi and Karu.
The best part is that he has not said yet that they are masked balls he goes to.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's good.
See,
Trap him. That's perfect.
this is a fun way to try to figure out what to do with the quote, they are deceived for some time bit from your earlier 10 plus roll. You know, like you've pushed yourself, you've paid the fatigue for this benefit. I don't want to take it from you, even though that question is so pointed.
I'm trying to find out about Ikaru instead of him, though.
Yes, thank you for letting me know your goal. Well, should I make you roll for this separately? I think you should still enjoy the benefits of your previous strong result here. So, I suppose that if you were at a masquerade, and you're correct, I don't know how you knew that, but I do attend masquerades. I suppose that if one's mask was removed, well, that would spoil a bit of the fun, wouldn't it? And depending on the sort of circles you run in, it might have dire consequences. His expression just looks a little lost now. And then he shakes his head and looks over at his assistant and says, maybe ditch that part too. And please don't write that down, Fumi. It's a bit of an odd day, I guess. I'm sorry.
No, I won't write it.
I'm sure your questions are fine. Maybe I'm out of it a bit. Where is that water? He snaps and calls out for an attendant. Well, does that wrap it up?
Can I just ask one last question?
On the record or off the record, Lynn?
Oh, on the record. Is there anything your fans can look forward to in the coming weeks or months?
Certainly the return of some of those relics.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly Appa's saddle. I've got my best people on it, and of course, I'm on it. Other than that, a new book is coming out in 3 months.
Oh. Any details we can share about that?
Well, the title is still to be decided, but I won't deny my fans and readers everything. Let's just say, as a teaser, that it's got a little bit of a snippet about my journey and, the things I've been through that made me who I am today.
I can't wait to read it.
I'm sure you can't.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lot of other things to get to today. I'm sure you understand.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, we do. Totally.
My team will see you out.
Thank you.
And Zephyr
again.
stands up. He gives a bow, a bit gratuitous in its execution. And he starts to head into his estate. Let's cut. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something or do something?
Lynn shoots a look to Fumi, like, is this when we... Oh. Okay.
Yep. Ruby just like shook her head like, no, not happening.
Lynn took the hint.
In my mind, I'm just picturing Lynn holding like a big boulder right above him as he's walking away. He's like, now? Just drop it.
Is this the time? We cut to Amuk. Amuk, you have just pranked the chair of Zephyr Skydancer. You have a crumpled recipe in hand. You've rummaged through a desk. I don't know what effort you've gone through to make sure that it looks like you didn't rummage through the desk. Any details there?
No. I think for the fiction, Amuk is going to leave it sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
He wants him to know somebody has been there because it's just another test just to see how he reacts to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amuk, as you look through the office door, you notice that the attendants and security are back in their normal positions. So you have to figure out a way out of here, and you hear steps as Zephyr greets one of them. Which one are you again? Doesn't matter. I won't remember. And you just hear him coming down the hallway. What do you do?
Is there a window or anything in the study?
There is. It is a large skylight, letting lots of natural sunlight in from the top down.
How modern is this house?
Ooh.
Or is it his villa, I should say, technically.
Yeah. To give me a little more teeth to that, because I'm trying to picture like the implications of it being more or less modern.
Is there central heating and indoor plumbing?
Ooh, I mean, all the amenities that could be afforded to someone with Zephyr's wallet are there. And yeah, we're in the era of that type of tech. So yeah, there's all sorts of things. There's heat. There's
all right, perfect. I think Amuk will definitely have to roll for this. But hearing him come in and want him being like, I want him to know somebody was here, going through his things. Mook's gonna just start trying to pull as much water out of the walls and underneath from the floor from all of the pipes to make a fire to get him up and out through the skylight.
oh, wow.
Just water damage everything.
I mean, yeah, if you're yoinking water from all the places that it could possibly be in this estate. Let's see a push your luck to get enough water in quickly and muster the force to launch your body through this window.
Oh my god. That's a 10. That's a 5 and a 5.
Okay.
Ooh, push your luck. Yeah, I don't get. Wait, what's the stat for push your luck? One more time.
Yeah, it's passion.
Passion? Oh, that's a 12.
Oh, that's right. That's your strong suit. On 10 plus, your boldness pays off despite the cost. The GM tells you what other lucky opportunity falls into your lap. So always with push your luck, when you PTL, there must be a cost. But in this case, there's also a surprise benefit. Let's see. What surprise benefit to give you for this?
As the wall tears down, we see opposite.
That would be crazy. The plot thickens. He had it the whole time. Oh, yeah. You pull and pull and pull, and you hear the wrenching of pipes as you try to muster enough water to create this spiral beneath you. The cost of this is, I think, somewhat obvious. which is that you start hearing yelling and panic as attendants and security are just scrambling and running back and forth in the halls. You just hear footsteps and commotion throughout the estate as people try to figure out what's going on to all of these things. And you've pulled water from, I think, several directions. And you see Zephyr, who was approaching your room, step into the doorway as water comes out of his cup. He had gone to get some flavored water, and it just gets sucked out of his cup, and he just looks absolutely bewildered as he looks up at you into the study. He does see your face, Amuk. So that is the greater cost of this. You pull the spiral together and launch yourself. I'd love a description of what happens, because I want to give you a chance to also perhaps adjust this slightly in reaction to him seeing you, or whatever you like, and then we can talk about the lucky opportunity.
Well, first, I want to acknowledge the raid that just happened on Twitch. Hi, welcome in, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey.
Okay, so as Amok is pulling all of the water out of the walls and the floor and the pipes, everything creaks, and the spirals, it's like all forming underneath his feet, and it's kind of like a corkscrew going up. And I think as Zephyr sees him, Amok will kind of throw a curveball and is gonna yell and is gonna like make direct eye contact with Zephyr, knowing that he saw me already, and just look him right in the eyes and say, "The librarian sends her regards," and just shoot up even more and leave and just run out of there to let Lynn and Fumi see me leave, and then kind of just like
signal to get
runs
out.
away.
Hightail.
I thought we were going to be a problem. Oh, never mind.
Wow, that helps me a ton.
Okay.
Your lucky additional opportunity on this push your luck is that as you start running, you see a bewildered Zephyr with an empty cup stumble out of his house to just watch you, mouth open, hanging, just like letting you leave. And you see him gesture to his security, raises a hand to just stop them from pursuing you. Nice choice of words, Amuksur. Zephyr will have plenty to think about today, I'm sure. Unless you decide to turn around and kill him, Fumi. You successfully leave without incident. Let us cut to Jing Min as you think of what to do next.
Oh, God.
You've been waiting so patiently, Danny. Shall we cut to the point where you reach the circus? Or do you have other things to do?
I'm down to cut to wherever. I think Jing Min's plan up to this point was just to get to the circus.
Yeah, cool. So it's dusk. As you approach the circus, you begin to hear the sounds. You said you hadn't been to a circus before, is that right?
Yes. Jing Min has never been to a circus.
So this is quite an overwhelming sensory experience. As you approach this colossal striped series of tents, you are hit by this cacophony of laughter, jeering, the music of the pipa and the tsungi horn, and the occasional roar of fire-bending displays fills the air, each time followed by a wave of applause from within one of these tents. The exterior of this. Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No, I think like at some point, like maybe like a merchant who's like trying to give out some like frozen flavored ice snacks from the Northern Water Tribe tries to like, sell some to her, and Jing Min turns around and goes, ah! And grabs him by the collar and holds up a fist and goes, who are you? What do you want?
I was just trying to sell you a chili pop.
Oh,
I'm so sorry for looking at
I
you.
don't want your chili pops.
I feel like I've committed a crime.
Well,
Just go.
I will. So no chili pop then. Okay.
She'll
Shaking,
turn.
this person continues about the business. Donna and Perla, you see them behind you, kind of lurking in the shadows at the edge of whatever the previous tents you've just passed. Just kind of checking to make sure that you're okay.
She'll look over at Donna and Perla and sort of gesture for them to follow her, like in like this like around the corner behind this tent where there aren't that many like people walking around.
Okay. Yep. Both massive figures nod and
Yes.
follow you at a distance.
Once they get there with her, she'll say, all right, change of plans. I think real quick before, did Kumadi ever establish when Jingong was supposed to be getting here?
No.
All right.
Just that his activity there has been frequent.
All right. So then Jing Min will look at the tallest tent, the tent that's held up by the tallest pillar in the circus.
Okay.
And she'll say, all right, change of plan. I am going to get up there. All right. I've already given you, I guess I could explain how Jingong looks in more detail. He'll probably be in Fire Nation robes. He has a long white beard, white hair. He looks like a Fire Nation noble, right? Just
right. Got
be on
it.
the lookout for a man who looks like an ex-Fire Nation soldier who's still holding on to the loss during the 100-Year War.
Holding on to what?
He's a very bitter man. Huh? The 100-Year War?
Oh.
When the Avatar was gone.
An object. Is he going to have a bow and arrows or a knife? Or is he a bender?
I mean, he's an archer. He was one of the Yuyan. So probably, maybe, I don't know, he's coming to a circus though. I don't know if I don't even know why he comes here. But be on the lookout for an old man who's obviously bitter and obviously Fire Nation.
Like that one? Perla says. And points over at someone matching your exact description, Jing Min. They're facing away from you, but it's unmistakable. This is the Yuyan archer, your grandfather, Jingong. The tent that he stands before is not the tallest one, but it is the most lavish, red, gold trim. He seems to have a quick exchange with someone standing outside the tent, and they gesture for him to step inside. He lifts up the canvas, and it closes behind him. He's now out of sight.
All right. Second change of plans. We go in there. Because that was him.
Got it.
Real quick, though. I'll be right back. And then Jingmin's going to try to sprint to the nearest face painter.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. I don't think that's going to assess the situation. You find a face painter.
Okay.
It is a young girl, and she is scrambling to keep up with the demand. There's a long line. What do you do?
How much money?
Want me to paint a what? Oh, okay. And just trying to whip up each thing as it's asked for.
How much money does Jing Min have left?
Very little, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Like,
Well-
oh man.
Who was it who had all the yuans? Yeah, it's. I think Lin has the most yuans now after winning.
Yeah.
that bet. Yeah. Yep.
Jing Min will, walking right next to the line, walk straight past every single one of them, waiting in line, and butt out the person who's next in line, and then hold up what little yuan she has, and she'll say, "How much can this give me a face paint?"
Hit me with that again, because I lost you for a sec. You're holding out what?
She's holding out all what little yuan she has, what little cash she
Okay.
has left,
Okay. Yep.
and she'll say, "Will this be able to get me a face paint?"
Just shy.
Just shy. Well. Jing Min will take out the pin, her Fire Nation pin holding up her hair, and throw that in there. The only significance of being, a family pin, but besides that, nothing much more. And she'll say, "Will that be enough more?"
Does it look nice, Danny?
I think it is like a golden pin, being that she does come from a pretty wealthy, noble family in the Fire Nation.
Yeah, and I'm just making sure that I had this right in my head. You were directing your questions to the painter themselves, right?
Yeah, she skipped everyone in line, and
She nervously looks at you and the angry people who are now cut off behind you and says, "Yeah, I think that'll do. We can always pawn stuff. You do have to wait at the back, though."
at this point, Jing Min will turn around and look at everyone behind her, and then she'll just sort of put her hand behind her, start feeling at some of the arrows in her quiver, and just start growling at the people behind her.
What would you like for your face painting? We don't want any trouble here.
I just want you. Make me a raccoon.
Well, that makes sense.
Jing Min's just like, I am complete.
Okay then. Just a raccoon, not a raccoon bear or a raccoon lizard or...
Just a raccoon.
Okay. It appears on your face in no time, Jing Min. Now, what is your aim? Is your aim to be disguised?
Yes, I think between now her hair now being down, first of all, for the first time we've seen her hair being down,
Yeah.
and the face paint, I think Jing Min's hoping that this will be enough to hopefully make sure that Gong doesn't recognize her in a crowd.
Okay. Yeah. It seems convincing, but in a few moments you have a raccoon face once again.
I'm so happy right now. All right. And then
Okay,
and then
thank
after
you.
that, thank you so much. I will come back and give you more money.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah,
No, that's
in an
fine.
hour or in years. I will repay you. Thank you so much.
Years, please.
And she'll start sprinting away, dust kicking up behind her. She'll sprint back to Perla and Donna.
Jing Min, as you leave, you nearly bump into what looks like a circus ringmaster, decorated in red velvet, just lavish clothes, gold trim. A middle-aged man who looks just a little bit like someone you know. Lynn Encloth. And they just kind of look at you with a confused expression as your raccoon self brushes by them. And they put a hand on the face painter who is trying to keep up with this long line and just says, you know, you're not, you're doing all right, but you're not, I know, I'm not Lynn.
Oh, man.
And you overhear this as you rush back to the tent that your grandfather has stepped into.
At this point, Jing Min is sprinting back to the tent, but her head is fully turned around, just staring at this ringmaster as she's sprinting towards the tent. So she's not even looking where she's running at this point. She's just like, it's almost like she's an owl. Her head's completely turned around. She's just...
The ringmaster gives a wave to the folks in the line and says, show's gonna start soon, folks.
Stop, that made me emotional.
It was so good.
Jing Min, you approach the tent now disguised. But you'll have to get past the attendant and into the canvas if you're going to get in there directly. Or if you have other ideas, I'm open to it. But what do you do?
So this is like a tent.
Indeed.
So this is like a tent, Steve.
It is.
First of all, she'll ask Perla and Donna. She'll say, "Do you think you guys will have any trouble getting inside?"
Like stealthy like? Or like big bang boom boom like?
No, but really just walking inside and joining the crowd.
That tent? And they pointed the one your grandpa went into.
Yeah.
That looks like the ringmaster tent, buddy.
You know,
Don't think there's a crowd in there. That looks like the crowd tent. And they pointed the largest tent that you had initially looked at scaling. And at that moment, there's just another eruption of applause inside of it.
All right, so here's the plan. I want you guys to position yourselves on either side of the ringmaster's tent, whatever that means.
Okay.
And I'm gonna find my way in there. And if you either hear me scream or anyone else scream, which is more likely, it's more likely you're gonna hear some random, like, adult scream in pain. Like, you ever heard someone get shot by an arrow and they scream?
Yeah, He Shang Ling did.
Yeah, that's most likely what they'll sound like. So just be on the lookout for that sound. Either way, if you hear anyone screaming or a struggle, they might not be screaming, you know? I might hit them in the throat. They can't scream if I hit them in the throat. So...
And you'll scream, right?
I'll scream. I'll say, throat! And then...
Okay.
Either way, if you hear something, just barge in, yeah?
Got it.
It's a tent. Maybe, did you bring any weapons, or are you just bring yourselves? I feel like you can consider yourselves weapons at this point. You're very large people.
Oh, we brought weapons. And they all just lift up their fists, both of them.
I like that so much. You don't understand. All right.
They get into position.
Yeah. And then Jing Min will do what she knows how to do best, and she'll try to get to a point in this tent, the ringmaster's tent, where there's not many people watching. Like, she'll circle it until she gets to like that point, and then she'll try to scale the tent.
Rely on your skills and training, Jing Min.
All right. Yeah, probably by shooting a roped arrow into the middle pillar and just using that to try to scale this tent.
That makes sense.
I am relying...
Focus.
Oh. That is a 5 on the dice. Plus 2
Mm.
focus for a 7. Just
Ah,
barely hits. For the first
Okay.
time in it feels like months, I have no conditions marked. So
oh wow.
just
Okay.
straight
Yeah.
7.
So let's see. You do it imperfectly. How might this lead to unexpected consequences? Let's ask our players what we think could go wrong.
Oh.
Any ideas?
Taking a little bite from Trophy, I see.
I mean,
That's right.
it's not like there's a real backstage to a circus. You know, there's people who work there around everywhere.
That's true.
Whose side are you on, Jinkies?
The circuses. That's where my loyalty lies, I fear.
True
Oh
loyalty.
no.
Yeah.
And tints are also very thin.
Mm.
And do you know what happens in circuses?
What happens in circuses?
Dangerous stunts in the middle of the ring where someone was climbing. We were doing shark jumping. It's not my fault.
You're watching
This-
Minna get eaten by a shark, is what you're saying?
I just think it's the funniest thing I could think of at a moment's notice.
I like taking a bit of inspiration from both of these suggestions from my table. So, Jing Min, the arrow secures itself. There's no issue with that. But as you scale and climb the rope that connects to your arrow, 2 things happen. First, as you get higher up, you realize how exposed you are. It's conspicuous. And you see a bunch of circus folks who are waiting behind the main tent, some of them perhaps to go on soon for their act. And one of them is sitting on a flying bison and just cocks their head curiously as they see you scaling the exterior of the ringmaster's tent. And they pat the bison and it starts walking towards you. And at that moment, when you're about halfway up, there's a seam in the tent
No.
and you fall through it.
No.
Now dangling from this rope above the folks inside the tent. They do not yet notice you.
Oh my god.
So you're just hanging there. You know that there's been a witness on the outside. And you can now see that the tent is nearly empty as far as people are concerned. But you see a woman standing there, also with a similar likeness to linen cloth, dressed in a matching red velvet and gold ringmaster's outfit. And she is talking to your grandfather. Oh, what do they say before we end for the evening? Jing Min, you see the front of your grandfather. You saw the back before, but you're just struck that he has not changed at all since you parted ways.
Evil
Still,
doesn't change.
indeed. And you also notice that he is carrying one of his old bows. Not the one he gifted you when you were very young, but he is equipped with bow and arrow. And you hear the ringmaster say, "Darling, we've been grateful for your patronage. A real game changer for our business. I mean, just look at these." And she touches the like frilly gold hanging down from her shoulder pads. It's positively exquisite. And the freaks have agreed never to look into your tent. Not a peep. Danny, I've just totally unilaterally made decisions about Lynn's parents' voices. But for some reason, I feel compelled to ask you what your grandfather sounds like.
Think Uncle Iroh, but he smokes a lot more cigarettes.
Oh my god. I can't wait to hear Steve says this one.
We will continue to provide what you have asked for.
Perfect.
Continue to keep up your end of the deal. Of course, darling, of course. There's been not a hit yet, I assure you. We just want some more of that nod and smile stuff you give us, and we will continue to enjoy the benefits for the experiences in our shows. You should see. Have you been in our shows? You should see how many yuans they throw when we say so. And we will cut. I think that's a good place to end for tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay then. Well, I guess now we know where the cabbage powder's going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. I like where this is going. And
Honestly,
Zephyr
me too.
Skydancer is somehow alive still.
You know, he almost wasn't.
Sometimes the really hateable ones, they just somehow really last a long time.
He has no idea how close he was to death.
No,
he has
he does
no idea
not.
how close to living a Sisyphus fantasy he was, okay?
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Let's do another little raid. But let us all first say thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
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 Hey,
Thanks for
now
the
that we've got the
raid.
clean audio cut for Justin, we have to go through the thank yous for everybody who was so generous tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I
Thank
have them
you
pulled
all.
up here. It's Baby Les. Thank you for the raid and the follow and the sub. The trifecta, Diva. That's crazy. Thank you.
Thank
BB
you.
Gel, thank you for the follow. Tulip for the biddies. Tulip for the sub. Tulip for the gift sub. Gus for the biddies. Tulip for more biddies. It's Bay Les for the gift sub. Gus for the biddies. Tulip for the biddies. BB Gel for the sub. Gus for the sub. For the community sub. For the biddies. Me for the sub. Tulip for the biddies, Baby Les for the biddies, Tulip for the biddies, and Mechkura for the biddies. Y'all are too sweet. And I want everyone in chat to know a golden kappa train happens like 1 in 10,000 raid trains or hype trains on Twitch, which is crazy.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Justin, I see that you're confused. We'll go over it. We'll talk. Oh
Yeah,
my
I just
God, we
heard
have
the
more
word sub and
freaking
biddy back
biddies.
and forth so many times.
Hello? Diva, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you all
Y'all.
so much.
Wow. More. And there's more.
Y'all, here is our raid message for the evening. I've just pasted it into chat. Feel free to copy and paste that while Justin types in the name of the person we're raiding. So we can do that. There we go. Anything anyone else wants to say to chat before we head out?
Just thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
You guys have no idea
But
how much that
Chago,
helps.
Rainforest Chew.
Oh, Rainforest Chew. Important.
Thank you.
And if you are brand
Don't
new
forget.
around here and want to listen to the rest of our stuff, we are currently on Relics of the New Republic, Dustfire Media on any and every podcast catching platform. And specifically, we are Relics of the New Republic. Flying Bison Podcast, the first 2 seasons, are a separate gang who are also lovely. But we're listening to Public Fun, listen to us.
Yes.
Okay,
We're
Does
the
that
chaos
cover it?
crew. We're musical episode once we get 100 patrons.
Oh my god.
You realize how much equipment we'll need to do it actually like a synchronous musical episode?
Right?
It
I
doesn't have to
I
be
have
live.
posted that.
It's a 20 minute. We'll do a 20-minute musical episode.
Our first
One shot.
pre-filmed thing, like pre-recorded. Okay, this raid's about to go out, so I think this is the part of the evening where we say goodnight to everyone. Everyone say goodnight.
No.
Good night.
Good night.
Sweet
Bye, bye.
dreams. Bye.